Welcome to the realms of peril and glory. Explore the mechanically magical vistas of Vale, the paranormal mysteries of liminal London, and the cyberpunk chaos of Cyborg. You'll be immersed into unforgettable campaigns and heart-pounding one-shots. Search Realms of Peril and Glory to find out more. Realms of Peril and Glory. Explore the mechanically magical vistas of Vale, the paranormal mysteries of liminal London, and the cyberpunk chaos of Cyborg. Search Realms of Peril and Glory to find out more.
Hello and welcome to the IGN UK Podcast. On this week's podcast, I'm joined by Keza McDonald.
Hiya.
Chris Tilley.
Buongiorno.
And Daniel Krupa.
Hello.
Of course, we will be looking at the week's news and we will be talking about Grand Theft Auto 5 because we saw that a couple of weeks ago now. We saw some new stuff, which is very exciting. But first, Keza, you weren't here last week because you were in Iceland.
I was in Iceland for EVE Fanfest, that was my second EVE Fanfest. And it was just as fascinating the second time around, watching people who fly internet spaceships in their spare time converge on Reykjavik to have a big convention about said internet spaceships.
You have to pay for yourself to get there, I guess?
Yeah.
Right. And how many people turn up and where do they come from?
About 1,400 people this year.
1,400 people?
Yeah, and there's there's nearly 500,000 EVE players in the world.
Right.
And so 1,400 people turned up at Reykjavik, and we met people from America, we met people from all over Europe, we met one guy from South Africa. It's so interesting, it really is. We made a documentary about it this time. We've done some filming.
Well, we've shot it.
We've shot it, yeah. No, it's going to be quite some time. Don't be looking out for that on IGN.com. Anytime soon, it's going to take a wee while.
Why do people go?
Because they want to meet the people that they know in the game.
Yeah.
In real life. And also because if you're at FanFest, like the people who make EVE Online, CCP, they have this very, very unique... You can't be very unique. They have a unique attitude to the way they develop, in that they...
Do it naked.
Yep. I hear a lot of people do that, actually. These days, you can't afford clothes.
I'm always developing naked.
But they take feedback from the players in a very real way. So if you go to FanFest, you are literally being told, person to person by CCP, what's going to happen and why.
Right.
And then you can go to like round tables and talk to them about, what to do and how and all these things. And also you can drink a lot, seriously. Be very careful if you ever go to Iceland. Like, a pub crawl starts with a bottle of Icelandic absinthe being passed around before you even get to the pub. It's hardcore.
How does it end?
I don't really remember.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure it doesn't end well. I nearly missed my flight. It's fine, though.
That's every single time you go away. You nearly miss your flight.
Wait, drunk or sober?
It's not true.
It is
sometimes true. Has anyone else done anything interesting?
Yes. Daniel and I entered a quiz last night.
And Rich. Rich is not
Rich
on
Bear
microphone. He's on the knobs.
He's not on mic right now, but it was for the release of the movie 21 and Over, which is kind of a teen sex comedy.
Which you've not seen.
Which we've not seen, but here it's okay. And little did we know that Rich Bearpark knows a lot about sex comedies.
He knows a lot about
He can't speak for himself right
Big
now.
Big Porky's fan.
He knows a lot.
He's doing a very weird face.
There were some very random quotes that Bearpark knew immediately.
Yeah.
Wow.
And it went to deadlock. We were tied with Digital Spy, and it went to a beer pong finale.
Yeah, you actually were trying to be a peacemaker. You went over and going, we'll just half it. We'll half it straight off the bat. And then, no.
That's what happened.
Yeah.
It got down to 1 cup each, and neither of us were hitting
I've seen a video about that.
2 websites, 1 cup.
The game was going nowhere, so I went over to the captain of their team.
Punched him in the nuts.
And said, why don't we just split the £2,100?
Yeah.
And he said yes. But then Alex Zane, who was hosting, said, no, you can't do that. You've got to finish. So we each had one throw left.
Yeah.
Amy on our team knocked hers in.
Straight in.
No
rim, straight in.
Celebration, game over. Alex said, no, hold on, they've got to do one. They knocked theirs straight in.
Right.
So actually, we tied anyway. It was a very lovely ending to a very...
I will say it was much more captivating after 10 beers. It was like Borg McEnroe and Nadal Federer. Because a lot of people were like, honestly, there were so many cups, you're like, this is going to go on literally for hours. It's drunk people throwing balls and they can't even get it on the table. And it actually became quite entertaining for even onlookers. People actually got into it and they were cheering us on.
Right.
So, you know.
And what was the charity of choice?
Make-A-Wish Foundation.
Oh, great. That's a good one.
There's a grand going that way.
Excellent.
Nice.
Thanks to Bear Park.
The real winners
What
are
about
charity.
the other 50 quid?
I was more pocketing that.
That's beer.
Oh, Mr. Chu got to get Cabo. Only joking.
Anyway, let's move on to this week's news. And a new Call of Duty was announced.
I don't know. Who thought? Who thought they were going to do another Call of Duty?
Who'd have thunk it?
The last one did really well, so they thought, well, I'll crack another one out. We kind of knew this was happening. Obviously, we knew it was happening anyway, but somebody at Tesco Direct accidentally put it live, the page for it. And they put the box art live as well on that page.
GameStop did the same as well.
Yeah, so we knew it was probably going to be called Call of Duty Ghosts, and now Activision has confirmed that.
So it's Infinity Ward?
Infinity Ward, who really kind of reinvigorated the series with the tremendously successful Modern Warfare imprint, and it's coming out on November 5th, so typical release date for Call of Duty. It's going to be Xbox, PlayStation 3, PC, and next generation platforms.
That makes a lot of sense.
Next generation. So, a dude from Infinity Ward, Mark Rubin, who's an executive producer, says, everyone was expecting us to make Modern Warfare 4, which would have been the safe thing to do. But we're not resting on our laurels. We saw the console transition as the perfect opportunity to start a new chapter for Call of Duty. This new entry will be based on interpretive dance, ballet, modern, tap. And it's actually going to be some bloke in a mask shooting people.
And that's the thing. He says, the safe thing to do would have been
Modern Warfare 4.
Actually, the safe thing to do is to do a Call of Duty game. Do something different.
Yeah, but even though it's not Modern Warfare 4, it's still going to be Call of Duty.
It's certainly, because obviously in whatever the last Call of Duty was or the one before that, you had a chap with a ghost mask on his face. Yeah. And that looks exactly the same as this.
Yeah, it's Ghost from Modern Warfare 2 who died. Spoiler. Game's been out
really
for a long
old
time.
spoiler.
And the thing is, what would you infer from Ghost? You'd think maybe like Special Ops or Black Ops.
Yeah.
But they've done Black Ops.
Yeah.
And obviously Ghost Recon, you associate it with that, but...
Did you say stealth, Kez?
Yes.
I can't imagine stealth.
Call of Duty.
That's it. I'm not imagining it's going to be Splinter Cell.
No.
Imagine a big stealth Call of Duty set piece. Just wait.
Although, obviously, in Modern Warfare 1, you had the bit where you had to kind of shimmy across the...
And ghillies.
Ghillies in
the
the
ghillies
mist.
bit, yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah, that was good.
That was
not,
good.
Not enough of that.
But it was good because it was a great change in tempo, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I think Call of Duty's lost sight of is that it doesn't always have to be balls to the wall all of the time. Like, it's great to have that, but just calm it down a little bit, and then you kind of don't get desensitized to how incredibly action focused.
I would like if they incorporated a Lumi room to put balls on your wall.
Oh, great! Just testicles everywhere.
Or as I like to call it, Halloumi room. That's the peripheral I really want to see.
When the Xbox Live camera thing first came out, the Xbox Vision camera, whatever it was, so many people playing Uno and other video games just had their balls as their
That's
Xbox
how I like
Live
to play
profile
Uno.
picture.
Really?
Yeah. Like, it would mostly be balls.
Uno's quite a tense
55%
game,
balls.
though. You need if anything can relax you.
I got really addicted to Uno when that came out. It was the first Xbox Live game I ever played properly.
I do remember
so
sitting
many
at a
balls.
briefing, and then they were like, and this is the game we're going to launch with. He's like, fucking Uno.
Well,
oh my God.
It was really, really addictive and tense
May 21st.
and full of balls.
We haven't talked about next gen Xbox being released yet on the podcast. Like the date being announced.
Not official, but but Call of Duty is going to be shown at the Microsoft press conference.
So
What a surprise!
yeah, hopefully new Uno as well.
Oh, new
sorry.
Uno.
Not
Uno?
not the press conference. Yeah, the Xbox reveal.
The Xbox reveal is on, as everybody suspected, May 21st.
Yeah.
Speaking of Microsoft press conferences, they are doing an E3 one, to the enormous surprise of everybody. But
That's not really the surprise.
no, the surprise is that Nintendo isn't doing one
Yeah.
this year.
But then again, that's probably not that much of a surprise considering the success they've had with Nintendo Direct. So
Yes.
I've got really itchy leg.
People can't hear that.
I don't know, I'm scratching pretty fiercely.
That's really itchy.
It's really itchy.
Alex isn't wearing trousers, by the way.
Oh, good.
But he is playing Uno.
Nintendo press conference. There isn't
Oh, that's
one.
right, yes. Nintendo's not having one. I could have predicted that after last year.
Well, the last two have been pretty disastrous.
Well, last year they came up, didn't announce anything, and then 2 days later, or I think a week later, they did a Nintendo Direct in which they announced the 3DS XL and a bunch of other cool stuff. So it's like, right, you really don't have much respect, do you, for the E3 thing? And I remember a lot of people saying back then, I wouldn't be surprised if next year they didn't even do one.
But do we think that they're going to do some kind of whether it's a direct live stream or something or other?
Nintendo will do exactly, I think, what they started doing with Tokyo Game Show back in the 90s, where instead of going to Tokyo Game Show, Nintendo just had Space World, which was their own thing, and they held that about a week later.
Spice World.
Space World.
Sorry, I really misheard you.
Nintendo Spice World.
That was Nintendo. We're not doing E3, we're going to do this.
So I reckon they'll do their own event.
Okay.
And I think that might be like a global thing. I wish Space World would come back. I always dreamed of going to Space World as a child reading Nintendo magazines. And if they did another one, then I could realise that childhood dream.
Yeah, but it wouldn't be quite the same now, would it?
It really wouldn't be the same.
On a Nintendo note, Asda have put down the price of the Wii U to £149.
Still not buying.
Okay.
We've already got one. We've already got one. Hasn't everyone here got one? Have you not got one?
No.
Not even for £149?
I don't want one.
They have changed loading times now. Loading times are way better.
I don't care. There is literally not a single game on it right now that I want to play.
No, but what I'm saying, so after E3, when we see new Mario Kart, I know the same old games, people leave that as a side issue. For £149.
No.
Okay.
Wow. You're really anti-Wii U.
No, but there is literally nothing on that console that I want to play.
Yeah,
enough to go and buy it.
To be fair, it's pretty much Monster Hunter for me. That's it, and I play that
You
mostly.
can play the original
3DS anyway.
Castlevania.
Great. Brilliant.
I don't think it's that much of a big deal that Nintendo's not doing an E3 press conference, though.
No.
I don't think it really matters.
But obviously they have geared up a lot of games that they're going to show there. It just feels a bit weird if they're just going to literally throw them on the show floor without any kind of like.
Do you think they'll do a direct the week before?
I
See
think,
them in the popular consciousness.
I think they'll do something.
If I were them, I'd do a direct and an event that was my own event. But they don't. I mean, Nintendo doesn't. In Nintendo's mind, because they think that they're still the kings of everything. They don't feel like they need to go by everybody else's.
I really like
schedule.
Nintendo Direct broadcasts. I feel like it's a TV show that I watch.
No, it's good.
Spread over a long period of time. I also like when Iwata does it and he wears things like little white gloves, or he's in some wood-panelled room with a mysterious painting on the background, and it looks like a Dharma Initiative tape.
Right.
Well, there was that really weird bit in the last one where just several hundred Luigis just appeared, and he was standing in the midst of them.
He's having a breakdown.
But they'll have to do a direct, because otherwise they literally will have no share of voice at E3.
Nintendo Indirect. Good. I'm happy with that one. No one else is. Fine.
I don't really
Fuck
get
you
it.
all. I don't know.
Anyway, Peter Molyneux, eh?
Amazing.
Off the back of the announcement of the Xbox reveal, Molyneux has come out from his 22 cans to basically flaunt
where he secretes
the
himself
information.
at night.
Yeah, exactly. The information that he claims he knows about the next Xbox, but really he's just trying to generate interest in curiosity and Goddess. That's very cynical of me.
That is very cynical of you.
But I'm pretty true.
It turns out Curiosity is going to end soon. We're only 50 layers from the centre of the cube, and the hilarious coincidence here is that apparently it's due to finish on May 21st.
At exactly the same time as the Microsoft press conference begins. What?
The next Xbox is inside the cube.
Idiot.
It's what's inside the cube. That would
It's
be
not.
funny though, wouldn't it?
Final bets. What do people think is inside the cube?
I think Peter Molyneux's inside the cube.
Do you think?
He's going to come out.
A little Peter.
He's cloned himself.
Yeah.
And he's in there.
Like a homunculus.
I think it's going to be like a mirror saying the most
What was that
brilliant
Connect boy
thing is
called?
you.
Is he in it?
Milo.
Yeah.
Milo's in the
there
cube.
going, Milo grown up.
Has anyone been feeding him?
Man.
Like, no one's seen him for a while.
But he's chatting away this week, isn't he? Just to get people to spend some money on it.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
They're gonna be-
I am genuinely interested in what's in the cube.
Yeah, and there's going to be a lot of idiots that go and spend money this week, aren't there? Because he's come out and said, "Oh, we're getting to the end." That's the only reason he's doing it, isn't it? To drum up bloody
Take advantage of
financial-
idiots.
Yeah. But
Sorry, any listeners that are chipping away.
Well, you don't need to spend money though.
You don't need to spend money on Curiosity.
No, fair
But
enough.
I think he's assuming because there's also they've added this mischievous thing where you can now pay a little bit of money, like a microtransaction, to add cubes back on. So, if you want to be the
I
one
do like
to do
the
it,
idea. If I was really insanely rich, I might just put them all back on.
Classic Molyneux.
I would wait an hour before the Microsoft Friends conference.
Put them all back on.
Reset it.
Oh, God. But yeah, if you think someone else is getting too close to the centre of the cube, you can add some back on for money.
Why don't you just take some more off?
We all like Peter, but
It's ridiculous.
what's going to be the fallout of this? But when this is finally unveiled, how's he going to recover? Is there any coming back from this?
Well,
I think Curiosity has been a really interesting and successful experiment in some ways, apart from the fact it didn't work when it was launched. Apart from that, it's been interesting.
It's really
Brilliant.
successful, the fact that it didn't work.
it was
Yeah,
fundamentally
Is it just
flawed.
going to be
It
something
works now.
ridiculous like the number 42? Because he said it's going to be like the answer to the universe.
You are right, though. What could it possibly be
The number
to live up
42.
to this?
And I'll be honest, I don't care.
No.
And whatever it is he going to bounce back from this? Because I think whatever it is, he's going to get a lot of criticism.
I
Yeah.
wonder how much money he's made off of it.
There is a really tragic quote in the interview that Luke did with him where he's like, we kind of have to end it soon because otherwise everyone will just be like, oh, that's another one of Peter Molyneux's stupid things that never came to anything. Oh, Peter.
He'll make
Stop promising this shit then.
And make a new game. And that's the real game. This is the new game.
What he's going to... Oh, dear.
I don't know. Anyway, look, listeners, let us know what you think is going to be in the middle of the cube. Because
Yeah.
quite frankly,
Are
I
any of
have
you
no
playing?
idea.
Also, I'd be interested to know if any of you are still playing Curiosity.
New.
If anyone guesses it, we'll give you the 50 quid left over from the quiz.
You can give it.
Fact.
Is there really 50 quid left over from the quiz?
There's not.
Okay, right.
I just
Well,
forgot
it's
to
coming out of
mention
your
it
pocket.
It's not.
Yeah, it's fine.
It's not. We got burritos.
I'll happily play someone 50 quid if they guess it.
Okay.
Would you really?
Yeah, totally. We've got if they
You're gonna be
guess it
inundated.
correct, we've got an exclusive.
But we
It's
won't.
not exclusive.
But we won't know until afterwards. That's a ridiculous thing to say.
My money.
Whatever. My money, my rules.
Go for it.
Anyway, g'day, mates.
Okay, Chris.
Amazing.
How you doing?
Jeez.
All right.
I'm good, Cobber.
Good. So I have a bit of film news.
Oh no, keep it going. Keep it going.
I don't do accents.
Oh,
I'm
no.
tell.
I'm not a racist. It looks like there's going to be an Inbetweeners 2. The movie they said would never happen is apparently going to happen, according to the Sun. So it must be true. Apparently, they're heading to Australia in the next movie. The Sun source says the writers have been knocking around ideas for a while and came up with something they thought would be good enough to maintain the high standards they have set.
Wow.
Croops, were they high standards?
Well, not that high. It's a lot of wanking jokes, isn't it, really? Let's not pretend it's something else. It's a lot of really smutty wanking jokes. It's
Yeah.
funny. Wanking jokes are funny.
Yeah, it turns
But
out.
I don't... Surely you've done quite a lot of them.
Keza, is wanking better down under?
Are you asking me if all Australians are wankers?
No, just...
I would never make such a sweeping generalisation.
Very stupid response. No.
So will briefcase wanker become backpack wanker?
Oh, backpack wankers could
Did you
work.
stay up late last night? Just writing... Yeah, right. This one's Keza first. Is wanking better down under? Right, that's good. Happy with that one. What was your question? Whether
Wait,
it be backpack
what are the
wanker?
Inbetweeners going to be doing in Australia?
Backpacking.
I don't know. There's no story details. I mean, let's
He
be
has
honest.
actually written down the words briefcase wanker and backpack wanker on his little sheet.
Yeah, I
This
thought
is
of it earlier.
prepared.
Amazing. So happy.
He's prepped.
Is Alex going to stop typing and actually say something?
He's not
'Cause
typing.
What is he
he's playing
doing?
Curiosity.
He's chipping away.
Yeah. I'm adding bricks back.
What do you think,
Alex
Chris?
Simmons, what are your thoughts on Inbetweeners 2?
Don't need it.
Moving on.
You could have been a movie exec. The thing is, you know what? We wouldn't have Transformers fucking 4 if
Exactly.
Alex existed in Hollywood. Don't need it.
Did we need Inbetweeners 1 though?
I enjoyed him.
What, the movie?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, but I thought it was a good film. Or it had really good
moments.
bits, but there was other bits where it was just,
Basically when they were dancing in the club.
I seriously enjoyed the Inbetweeners movie and would
Yeah.
welcome another one.
Yeah, I think we all want to see
they're really
those.
old now, though, aren't they?
Yeah, that's the thing, they're a bit
Especially-
old.
They
Like,
don't look old though.
Like, who,
Well, people in
Like-
Hollywood always play
I
younger.
can't remember any of their names.
Simon Bird.
Yeah, how old is he?
He's 62, but
He's fairly old, isn't he?
he's 62.
Well, he's your
Wow,
twin,
that is
so he must be the
impressive.
same age as you.
Doesn't look anything like me, actually. In fact, I think we'd all like to see those 4 back together. Though. They're quite funny when
They're great together.
Yeah.
But can we
Just freshen up a bit then.
But they're not Inbetweeners anymore, though, are they? They're like 21 now.
But they'll still be
They're a
prats
lot
for a
older
while.
than 21. They're like...
No, I mean like
in the
the
show.
characters.
Yeah, okay,
the characters
right, yeah,
are like
Because they
21.
were just going to uni, weren't they?
Yeah, so
this
they're, what,
might be a
18,
gap
19?
here.
I'll be honest, guys. I think we're overthinking it.
It's going to be wanking jokes.
Just more wank jokes.
I'm sure those writers can come up with new good wanking jokes.
Is it the same writers?
Yeah.
A cool thing happened on Monday.
A cool thing.
A cool thing.
A cool thing happened, and I showed
cool
it.
thing. So a developer called Greenheart Games made a game called Game Dev Tycoon, which is a game about making video games.
Do you want to say games a few more times? Oh my god.
Game
Games,
Devception.
games.
It's a bit like Game Dev Story. Anyway, they made this game, and in it there
I
was
wish
a
I
really,
could live sub you.
in it there's a very, very clever anti-piracy measure, where when you're playing after 2 hours, they released a cracked version on the internet, right, to kind of preempt piracy. And as you play, after about 2 hours, you get the following little message that says, "Boss, it seems that while people are really enjoying the game, they steal it by downloading a cracked version rather than buying it legally. If players don't buy our game, we'll sooner or later go bankrupt." And after that point, it's impossible to make any money, and you can't win.
So it
So-
punishes pirates.
So basically, it's punishing pirates for pirating, which I think is pretty
But
cool.
in a very amusing, self-referential way.
And the thing that's entertaining is all the posts on like Steam forums and other forums and Reddit with people being like, "I can't progress, help, guys! I've reached the point where if I make a decent game that scores 9 to 10, it gets pirated and I can't make any profit."
You just outed yourself.
Yeah, so
pirate.
pirates are complaining on the internet about the fact that the game features piracy. It's like, can I research DRM?
What
Which
kind
is-
of pirates?
I wish they did talk like pirates. That'd be amazing.
Yar. So this is one of
How much is the game?
it's $8.
Wow.
And Greenheart, the people who did this, the developer has said that 93.6% of players after 24 hours, 93.6% of players had downloaded the illegal version rather than buying it legally.
I wonder what the conversion rate is after that, though. Like how many? Because if it's only $8, it's like, does it give you the option to go and buy the legit game?
Yeah, it persuades you in the end. It says, please buy our legit game.
Yeah.
They've got a free demo, obviously. I mean, the pirated crap version wasn't like a demo for the game. It was just a smart way to show people how piracy affects, especially Wii
Yeah.
developers. And this isn't the first time anyone's done that. Like in Batman Arkham Asylum, on the PC version, if you downloaded a cracked version, Batman's cape just wouldn't open. So you could sort of play the game,
Is
but
that
his
right?
cape wouldn't
I
open.
didn't know
yeah.
that.
Is it an Alan Wake? You would have an eye patch like a pirate.
That's right, yeah. Alan Wake just had like a ridiculous eye patch on for the whole game if you got the
That's
correct
quite
version.
cool.
I didn't know any of that stuff.
Operation Flashpoint, if it detected you were using a naughty version, it would just slowly degrade your gun until it basically didn't do anything over the course of many
That's
hours. And enemies would become total bullet sponges, which made a lot of people think it was broken. But no, just they should have bought it.
That's clever.
There's another couple of really good ones,
Oh, I
actually.
like it.
Got a feature about a bunch of clever anti-piracy measures. But I thought that was cool because it's kind of highlighted. I mean, 93.6% of people. That's
That is
many people. It's
crazy.
mental.
A lot of pirates out there.
I wonder what the total numbers are, though. Obviously, that's a percentage. I wonder
Yeah, it's
what-
probably not that many.
like 4.
Yeah.
That doesn't go into that percentage. Right, I'm going to stop tapping. Anyway, so a week and a bit ago, Keza, myself, and Daniel, we went to go and see Grand Theft Auto 5. Now, I've seen the game before, but it was your first chance to see it in action.
It was indeed.
Mm-hmm.
What did you think?
Well, I would say before going to see it demo,
Scuba!
I was not that excited about it.
Scuba.
Really?
I would be more excited about going to see a demo for Red Dead. I like GTA lots, but I wasn't like salivating about seeing it. And then I actually saw the demo, and I left feeling pretty impressed. Actually, I think the most impressive thing was scuba diving.
Scuba!
I'm going to get that in. I listened back to what we said after we came out, and it was incredible. So we saw Trevor on a Zodiac boat, which is used by the military, and certain boats in the game have scuba gear, letting you go under the waves at any point in the ocean. And he went under the waves, and the amount of detail in the water was quite staggering. Actually, it was
crazy.
really breathtaking.
Yeah.
There was fish, there was coral, there was a sunken tanker that you could go in and explore. There were terrifying sharks. And the way
giant
that
sharks.
Yeah, and the way that the water kind of filtered through and visibility varied depending where you were.
It's the most
Yeah.
beautiful underwater game I've ever seen.
But also, the surface of the water I thought was incredible.
Yeah, and
like, the undulations of the water and the waves and the way that
The reflection of
the
sun.
foam. God, it was just
They were this
incredible.
spume, as it were. They were very coy about it as well, because they were just driving out. They're like, "Oh, do you
That's
like
good
our wave
fish
physics?
reference. Yeah.
Our wave physics? Do you like that? Is that good? Like
And
that?
we didn't see it,
Check it out. We can go underneath."
but obviously they insinuated that depending on the time of the day, obviously it was like right in the middle of the day when we went there, so visibility was pretty good. But if you go there like later at night or something, then you won't be able to see much. If you go during a storm, because that's the other thing,
choppy,
they've
yeah.
shown pictures of like lightning storms. Again, visibility will be impacted. So
I really can't imagine any game I'd like to play less than a game in which you have to scuba dive through stormy, shark-infested seas while there's no visibility. That sounds horrendous.
because again, we didn't see him being attacked, but you have to act quite gingerly, I believe.
Yeah, the
to
sharks
avoid-
are badass by the looks of it.
Yeah,
So that's me never going underwater in GTA 5 then.
Yeah,
but I'm assuming you'll have to at some point.
Oh
there'll be certain.
Did you ever get
missions.
past the shark bit in Arkham City?
no, I never did actually. Never did. Usually I just get someone else to play the shark bit for me, then I'll
But
return.
it's not going to hurt
I
you.
know. I did fall in the water and had to turn off the Xbox. That was a
Right.
problem. Fell through the ice and couldn't deal with a shark being there.
Yeah.
And then I never played it again. Did get through the shark bits in Far Cry 3 though, eventually.
Right.
By running the sharks over with a boat.
Right.
Don't think you can do that in GTA.
Well, you might be able
Bet you
to.
could.
I bet you
Maybe.
can shoot them with a gun. I bet you can.
The most impressive thing for me about seeing that demo was the way that you switch between the characters. It kind of
Yeah.
zooms out to city level, driver San Francisco style, and then zooms right back in again. But the thing is, they're always just in the middle of something that they're doing. So when we zoomed into Trevor, he was like passed out in dirty underwear on a beach,
Yeah.
like with like a bottle of whiskey in his right hand and a bunch of dead people around.
Yes.
It was
Like,
amazing.
You've no idea what the context is or what's just happened,
Yeah.
but it just sort of drops you in it, which is
And then, they were saying you could zoom out and zoom in and Michael would just be having an argument with his wife or,
Yeah.
whatever's happening is just happening. And the thing is, if you leave them, they'll stay where they are for a bit. But then if you leave them for, longer than a few minutes, they'll start making their way back to wherever they were going to go.
Yeah,
and
go
they kind
about
of
their
act.
business.
So they act,
Yeah.
so you can't like leave Trevor just like underwater,
They have
zoom out, go away,
timetables.
do something else, come back and Trevor will just be hanging out underwater. That's not how it works. I thought that was really smart.
I think we
Yeah.
also got to see much more of the world. So the demo started with us in a plane as Franklin, and he jumps out the plane and you get to see kind of scrubland.
yeah, it's the kind of the sort of countryside around the city.
Yeah,
isn't
so
it?
it looked kind of like dry and arid.
It's like up in the
bit, and
mountains.
California
Yeah,
style.
and-
It's beautiful.
You could see wildlife. You could see
Yeah, as you were-
cougars and
As
some
you were
sheep.
parachuting down and sort of went through a
goats.
ravine, you saw
There
a
were
moose
deer
or something.
stopping for a little drink by the
Yeah.
side of a river. That was
Yeah.
amazing.
And then, but guys sitting on the edge of the water fishing and all that kind of shit.
But you can see, but you can see people doing stuff, and I think you'll come across things that have happened.
because we
Like-
saw that bit twice, didn't we?
Yeah,
Mm.
And I can't. On one of them, there was a guy sort of scooting up the mountain on an ATV, and then on the next time, it was different.
yeah.
So
I mean, that's really exciting because for me, the thing with GTA is that it's always been quite static.
yeah,
Like the actual game that you play, that bit's good, but you can only go in like one in every 60 buildings, and
Yeah.
everything's just a bit static. There's not many people around, so the idea of being able to go out and for stuff to actually
Yeah.
be happening.
and we were kind of told that if you went out to the desert area, things might be there, like maybe a drug bust gone wrong.
Yeah.
So I instantly thought of Breaking Bad.
yeah,
Oh
yeah,
man, that
you
would be
just find like a
amazing.
meth deal gone wrong in the middle of the desert.
yeah.
That would be so amazing. I really hope they do a couple of tributes.
I think there will be.
They obviously will, won't they? Speaking of
Do a
tributes, the heists
Yes.
Yeah.
are all inspired by Michael, the character Michael's love for old school Hollywood.
Yeah, he seems
Crime
to be
movies.
he's the leader, he's the father figure of the group.
Yeah.
And he kind of plans the heists. So we haven't really seen one of the major set piece heists.
No.
We've seen like kind of smaller missions, but even them have a distinct cinematic flavour to them. So we saw one mission which definitely takes cues from Michael Mann's great movie Heat,
Yep.
where they block off a side road with a truck so they can trap the target, and they're all wearing masks and they blow the doors off. But I just think that's really cool. Like Rockstar Games have always alluded to movies. They love Hollywood films.
Because what they did with that mission was like, so you had, was it Trevor was No, so Trevor was positioned with a sniper rifle to the side, wasn't he?
Well, that's after all the shit went down.
Yeah, but because I wonder, I'm really interested to see how flexible you can be with that. Because obviously, during the demo, we switched from one character to the next constantly. And the thing I liked about that is that when you're actually in the middle of a kind of firefight, the switch is pretty instant. Whereas when you're out in the city and you're just kind of walking around, and obviously you've got to go half of the city, then it's a bit sort of more measured. But Because you can do that entire mission as one character if you want to.
Yeah, it seemed like at the beginning you're all in different vehicles, and the way that you trap the target is by manoeuvring these different vehicles and switching between them all.
Yeah.
I think that part's more satisfying by trying each one, sampling them.
Yeah.
But then actually when the police turn up and it turns into more straightforward shooting, I think I'd probably tend to stick as one character.
Although I do like the idea of, like, you know, having, like, if you're pinned down, then switching to a guy that's, you know, on a roof, that's got access to either a sniper rifle or a rocket.
It'd be really interesting to see, like, the health and...
Yeah, I'm a little bit worried about how they behave when you're not, you know, occupying them, and whether they run back or how intelligent they are, or do they just stand there. Because if you think about it, couldn't you just infinitely switch between the three of them to avoid when you're about to die, you know?
I don't know.
Yeah.
No idea.
But yeah, that I thought the shooting looked just very Grand Theft Auto-y, apart from the 3-person switching. It's not like Grand Theft Auto 4, though. It's more like Red Dead Redemption. So you don't have that weird... Remember that weird reticule thing in Grand Theft Auto 4?
Yeah, and like the character doesn't do that weird thing where he like runs at an angle.
Yeah, that was
turning
very
circle.
strange. I'd forgotten all about that. I started playing GTA 4 again just after I went to see GTA 5, just to remind myself. And he literally just turns like 45 degrees whenever he runs.
Strong wind.
That's an Eastern European thing, I think.
One leg shorter than the other. I can say that I'm half Eastern European. So.
You are. It's fine. Overall, though, it was hugely impressive, wasn't it? Like,
yeah.
I thought, I don't even need the next gen. I'm not even interested anymore in a next gen console because I've not seen any game that looks even remotely as good as this.
And there was like little teasers of things that we're going to find out in months to come. But in GTA 4, you'd have like a shit old mobile phone. In the new game, Michael has essentially an iPhone.
Yeah.
It's
And on
funny
that, it
as
had
well.
this on social media. So you can take a picture of something in the game and post it to social media within the game.
Well, but
I
he said
wonder
it
if
was.
that's going to have any
He said it was.
inspiration.
You said you can upload to Rockstar Social Club though,
Yeah.
which is obviously outside of the game.
Yeah, I'm wondering if it'll be that wider
which
social
would be,
integration.
like, that would be awesome.
That
if
would
you
be
can do
really
that.
cool. It's funny as well. Like
Straight to
we saw that even from like what we saw. It is clearly as funny, if not funnier.
Imagine if you could
Like
post
Trevor
to
is a
Facebook.
brilliant character.
Trevor's so amusing.
Yeah.
And there was that the Republican Space Rangers are back.
Yeah.
Which I'm really pleased about because they were my favourite thing about Grand Theft Auto 4 and you barely ever saw them because they were just on
And the
TV.
driving looked really good.
Yeah.
The driving looked more kind of like an arcade racer.
Yeah. We should point out that we didn't actually play it. Someone was playing it. We were watching
Yeah.
it
We
being
wanted
played.
to play it. We were thinking of staging our own heist and nicking the disc.
Yeah, because they did show us the disc.
They did show
And they
us
said
the
a lot of the
disc.
game was on the disc.
It flashed through our minds, didn't it? It was, it was like,
It's true.
Could steal
Like
that.
when I went to go and see it, like they have like obviously it's not just that little bit of the demo on that disc. It's the whole world is there to go and see and play. But obviously, very controlled as to what we see. But I must admit, I cannot wait.
it's really kind of nixed all of my interest in other games at the moment.
Yeah.
I'm just not interested in like next gen games anymore. I want to play Grand Theft Auto instead.
I just want to. I don't even particularly want to do any missions. I just want to kind of sort of sit out in the sea. And
I just
then-
want to be with it.
What does that say about the industry, though, if there's nothing else that you're even remotely as interested in as that?
Well, it says that Grand Theft Auto 5 is very, very good.
Is that a shame, though?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think there was a killer like launch thing. There rarely is these days, but like at the PlayStation 4 announcement, there was no like killer launch game that everyone went, "Whoa, holy shit, that looks amazing!" You know, there's
Also,
nothing-
bear in mind, like this game has been in development now for 6 years, and there just
Few
aren't
games
that
that-
many publishers that have the freedom or flexibility to do that. So
Yeah.
It's rare that you experience that kind of game.
yeah,
Yeah.
you only get a GTA once in every 5 years ish.
yeah,
You know, and it's every time it's like totally blows out the water all your expectations of what. I mean, Grand Theft Auto 4 for me was like a landmark moment in gaming, and so was San Andreas, right?
Yep.
And 3
Yep.
obviously was so.
yeah.
This is just going to do that again. Like you kind of expect it. It's like it's like Valve, right? Rockstar and Valve. They're just on a completely different level from everybody else.
Although
whenever they
Valve
release a
do
game.
need to hurry up and do something on Half-Life. Good God!
Well, that's an old conversation.
But don't you think it's like
Yeah, seriously,
it's taking
come
the
on,
piss
Valve.
now?
Well, they've been quite busy, you know, dominating the whole of the PC gaming scene with Steam and
I know,
making awesome Portal games and Team Fortress and stuff.
I know.
They have done quite a lot,
Do you
Valve.
think
And
they'll make
Dota, they're really busy with Dota.
Do you think
which
they'll
is-
make an announcement at E3?
No, I think they're too focused on Dota. Like, Dota is one of the most popular... I think it might be the most played game in the world if you look at just hours. And also, they're making tons of money out of it.
Right.
And it's not finished yet. It's been in beta for ages. So I reckon it'll be post-Dota we'll hear something about Half-Life.
Like, we had that down as our Gamescom game of the show like 2 years ago, and it's still not come out.
Well, that was just episode 3. Like, we've still not even had episode 3.
No, exactly, yeah.
Although I reckon that episode 3 is going to obviously be Half-Life 3. Like, there's no way they could release episode 3 separately now. That would just be insane.
3, yeah, and 3 will be like another 10 years.
Like, they were talking about that. I had an interview with, who was it? Gabe Newell about that at my very first, it wasn't even Gamescom, it was Leipzig.
Wow.
For IGN, so that would have been 2006. I interviewed him about Half-Life episode 3. And here we are.
7 years later.
Ridiculous.
That is insane.
It's never going to be that good.
It can't be good enough, can it?
No.
Although it is Valve. They have done it before.
Yeah. Anyway, so let's move on to listener feedback. Who's got the first piece?
I believe I have. I have a piece of feedback about piracy from Christian Jeffries, who says, a blog post about piracy hit the IGN homepage today. I'm sure you noticed it. This was one of our readers who wrote a kind of thing about why pirates pirate and like the self-justifications that people use and why they're wrong. He says, I wanted to rebut the main argument in the comments from pro-pirates. Piracy is stealing. Someone said it's not like stealing a car because nobody loses anything, but people lose money. They say so every day. Ask any game developer if piracy hurts them. 2 have said no, the rest say yes. These are service industries and they bend over backwards to please their consumers. They're artists. Some are artists scratching out a living. If art galleries use prints and refuse to buy originals, that would be bad. If tour promoters just played recorded versions in gigs, that would be bad. If we don't pay, developers don't have money and they can't make. It's as simple as that. It's not yours. Don't take it.
Fair point.
Absolutely fair. It's tricky with piracy because it's just become so normalised, hasn't it?
Yeah.
That people don't even think of it as a bad thing anymore.
Yeah.
And I mean, certainly for me, it's only really the last kind of 6 months that it's kind of, I've been very anti-piracy. Like, previous episodes, just like, oh, you know, whatever, people can do what they want. But now I really do feel strongly you should buy video games and movies and music.
What
Obviously you
changed
should.
then?
I think it's because
Her internet connection just wasn't very good anymore.
Because I've never got it. I've always thought it was stealing. Always.
Yeah, it is stealing.
It's because I grew up in the age of LimeWire and then BitTorrent. Like,
God,
when I was a kid.
I remember LimeWire.
Yeah, and when
LimeWire,
all this P2P stuff was so normal for me growing up. Like, since I was 12, I've been using those kinds of programs, and obviously I kind of don't steal stuff. I haven't ever since I earned my own money. I haven't stolen stuff from the internet, but a lot of my people that I know do, and I just think of it as normal because I've grown up with it.
And before you earned your own money, you were stealing stuff.
Well, when I was a teenager, yeah, I downloaded music and stuff.
Yeah, I just don't get it.
But it's like,
don't get it.
It's only now that I think it is just normalised for my generation of people.
Yeah.
And it's really only, quite recently that I've got my head around the fact that not only is it just, oh, well, I don't do it, but whatever. It's actually, no, this is really, really bad, don't do it. I mean, you always objectively know that, but, like,
yeah,
it's not something
But I
that's hit
think
home.
to have an argument to say that, for people to say, what's wrong with doing it is just retarded.
Well, I mean, there is an argument from some people that, oh, well, pirates pirate it and then they buy it if they like it. And it's like, no, they don't.
No,
they
of course they don't.
absolutely do not. Everybody knows that's not true. And it's not like with the music industry where the argument is, oh, well, if you get music for free and you like it, then you'll go to the gig. Which is, I mean, it's killing the music industry as well. Like, piracy has basically killed off most people's chances of making money out of making music. And it's going to go that way with games.
Yeah.
If it hasn't already, with 96%.
Is most game piracy though surely PC, right?
Yeah, I mean, I remember when
I have no idea how easy or hard it is to kind of pirate games on PS3 or 360.
it used to be pretty easy on the PS2. A lot of my friends used to pirate stuff on the PS2. It was relatively easy on the Xbox. In fact, it was very easy on the original Xbox.
Right.
I think the 360, because it's basically Xbox Live's kind of changed it. Like, a bit online stuff is what's changed it. So if you want to pirate for the PS3 or the 360, that's now quite hard.
Right.
Not that hard on Wii. You have to run like an emulator through a USB stick.
And that's it.
People have been using that to unlock HD Wii games, basically.
Right.
So like Super Mario Galaxy, they've used emulation to make it properly HD and run it through a PC emulator.
Right.
But I mean, I don't think anyone was exactly stealing games for the Wii. I mean, it's so complicated now to do it.
Yeah.
Whereas I guess on PC, that's the thing. If you make it too hard for someone to pirate, then they won't.
Yeah.
It's just the convenience thing, right?
Yeah.
Lazy pirates.
I have an email from Joe Newson, who says, just wanted to offer my 2 cents worth after seeing Iron Man 3. I'm a huge fan of the previous 2, however thought 3 was difficult to get my head around. It seemed that Shane Black decided to go down a much more philosophical route compared to Favreau, but it came across quite conflicted. There were some great examples of symbolism, but then took drastic and sudden detours into some quite awkward and cheesy jokes. For me, this juxtaposition didn't quite feel as natural as the first two. Need to see it again, but at the moment it's not as good as 1 or 2. So Dan, what do you think to Joe's comments?
I think the first two Iron Man movies, while funny and amusing, are pretty lightweight. I think the third one, what Shane Black's brought to it, is actually a bit more substance, and I think substance in superhero movies is a good thing. There's only so many superhero films we can do. They take on the big bad guy.
Yeah.
He's injected it, he's mashed it up with a slightly different genre, which is like this 80s buddy cop dynamic with him and War Machine. That is kind of Lethal Weapon-esque. I think the jokes work for most of it.
Yeah, I'm intrigued as what you mean when you say there's great examples of symbolism. I mean, all superheroes have symbolism, I guess, but I didn't feel it was...
The main one is the suit with Iron Man, I guess. The fact that the suit is his shell for a lot of it. He is exposed. In most of this film, it's like a husk that he drags around. But I don't want to go into spoilers.
No, I guess we'll agree to disagree, Joe, but
watch the spoiler cast if you haven't already. We can discuss it in much greater detail in that.
Yeah. We loved it.
Right, next bit of feedback is from John Peaty. When I finish a game, I like to move on to something very different from what I just played, preferably in a different genre. I've been playing Dishonored for the last month or so, and in that time I have heard a lot of hype about Bioshock Infinite, so I'm very keen to give it a go. If you disregard the story, how different are these two games? Do they have two similar mechanics, basically? Will that be different enough because he likes to change genres?
The power is out of your hands thing is quite similar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But one is an all-out shooter.
I think the tempo and the pacing is very different.
Yeah, there's no stealth in Bioshock Infinite.
So the similarities, it's obviously first person. You've got supernatural powers essentially in your left hand. You've got a gun in your right. But the world is so different.
Yeah.
Dunwall is so drab and lifeless and grim.
Yeah.
Bioshock's world, Columbia, is just amazing to experience and walk through.
And also,
So I think
Dishonored, you can play it in so many different ways. You can play it kind of balls out sort of action, but you can go complete stealth.
And he
Bioshock doesn't offer that.
Yeah,
It claimed it would, but it doesn't.
Yeah, and he says disregard the story. But the thing with Bioshock Infinite, you can't disregard the story.
It's all about the story.
The game is that story. It's almost the mechanics are subsidiary to that. So I definitely play Bioshock Infinite.
I'd go for Bioshock. Or if you want something really different, Animal Crossing.
Yeah.
That's how it seems.
Well, you could go completely off the wall. Robert D. Kwan says, you guys said in your latest podcast that first-degree burns were the worst type. This is not true.
You idiots.
First-degree burns are the least worrying type and involve only superficial skin burns. Fourth-degree burns are the ones which can extend to the bone and go all the way through the skin. There you go.
Fair enough. We got that wrong.
Wow.
We should hands up. None of us are medically trained.
No. I've never heard of fourth degree. I thought third degree.
Third degree was the worst that you ever hear of.
Yeah.
Fourth degree is just dead.
Burns go straight
That's the
through
singing
to the bone.
detective. Bad.
I think if you've got fourth degree burns, surely you're dead.
Yeah, I think that might be the one that
Although I'm sure I'll be corrected
terminal
next
burn.
week.
Yeah. Can we get out of this nest
tell us your burns.
of burn vipers?
I have some feedback from Connor Smith. This is weird. He says, hello, podcast team. Whenever I mention IGN in conversation with my friend, he always hates on you really bad because he says that you have a hatred for FPS games. Is this true?
Where's that come from?
I know.
Fuck FPS games. Fuck them.
You can't even say it. That's how much you hate them.
Fuck PS.
Well,
Fuck piss shit.
FPSs are pretty much the only game that I really enjoy playing.
Yeah, this is what I immediately thought when I read that. I was like, Alex doesn't play games.
And we always get hated on the fact that we give massively high scores for things like Call of Duty.
Yeah, and everyone's like, oh, Call of Duty, you know,
love it.
sucking off Activision with
Bioshock. It's like,
I mean, I would say FPS isn't my favourite genre, but I still really enjoy good ones.
Yeah.
Like,
And
say,
you love them.
FPSs
Alex
are
loves
my
them.
favourite genre,
Yeah.
so...
and it's not like that makes like more sense if you're talking about us as a podcast. But even then, like, you love FPSs so much. But if you're talking about IGN as a whole, that makes zero sense whatsoever.
No.
IGN loves FPSs.
I don't know where he's coming from on that one.
Utterly bizarre. So yeah, your friend is wrong, Connor.
Yeah. Anyway, that's it for FU. Out this week, Far Cry 3 Blood Dragon is finally out. Have you been playing it?
I haven't. Have you?
No?
I've been holding out for dinosaurs.
Playing it a bit. What's great about Blood Dragon is you can flip the bird to people while you're in the game.
I do like
It's very
the
funny.
way they've marketed it.
Do you like?
It is smart.
Yeah.
It's got dragons that shoot lasers as well,
It's
so
also
that's
great.
almost
So
dinosaurs.
it's right at the beginning, you have all the guns, and it's got a really good sense of humour. Like when you're going around the island, and when you're on a loading screen, it gives you that bit of advice. It's like secreted around the island, you'll find nano syringes that will restore your health. But seriously, who goes around and starts injecting them with syringes you find on the ground?
I did that once.
How did that work out for you?
It's a messed up half term. But Alex and I are from the 80s.
Yes.
That's cool.
You weren't born in the 80s.
No,
But you're from the 80s.
we're from the 80s. And we've actually put some features up, 80s-centric features, which
Yeah.
I quite like. On the film side, we did You Know You're Watching 80s Movie When? ... Bunch of good examples.
The game one was
Such
really
as-
good as well.
And we did the same thing on the game side, didn't
Yeah,
we?
indeed.
The game one was wicked. It's really good.
I haven't read it yet.
You know you're playing an 80s game when you buy a game and then you've got an entire game.
That was nice, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And it
That was a
works.
good one.
No download patch.
Yeah.
Or you have to wait for it to load.
Yeah, it was quite good. It was quite tongue-in-cheek. And
Yeah.
enjoyed
But
that.
I will be
The
playing.
80s were tongue-in-cheek.
I'm hoping to play Blood Dragon over the weekend. I just haven't had time this week. So, also out. Fez is out on PC.
Play that.
Still not played it.
Great game. Really great game.
Soul Sacrifice on Vita. And finally, Heroes of Might and Magic 4 Shades of Darkness on
I don't
PC.
even know what genre that is.
I'm guessing it's an RPG.
Is it though? Because like, aren't the Heroes of Might and Magic ones like first-person adventures? Or- who knows? Anyway,
Can I ask a gaming question?
Yes.
Why do I keep hearing about Candy Crush in the last 2 weeks?
My mum plays Candy Crush. I went
Is it-
home
is
a
it-
few weeks ago.
Has it just happened that it's
No.
gone mental?
Well,
Last month, I'd say Candy Crush
Yeah.
in particular has kind of escalated. My
It's
mum's
kind of it's gone broader
Yeah.
recently. Like
It's the
a
biggest
lot
game
of
of all
people,
time, isn't it, or
it's
something?
Facebook game.
a lot of people I know have
It's
been playing it,
iOS, yeah.
including Charlotte, have been playing it for like I don't know.
So the
4
thing,
months.
That's
the
Alex's
reason you've
wife.
heard about it is, I think a lot of people have hit the wall in the game, and one of the ways that you can expedite your process is by spamming people on Facebook.
Yeah.
So if they like the page on Facebook, I think you get extra lives
It's
in the game.
exactly the kind of thing
I've heard
I
that it's
hate.
almost impossible to get past some levels without paying for these special
My
items. Is the thing.
mum's bloody trying.
Yeah.
Well, but I only say it because I downloaded it at the weekend and I haven't stopped playing it. It's stupidly addictive.
Right.
Stupidly. But it's annoying me because it's also like it's making my brain melt.
Yeah.
But I just wondered because it seems to be everyone's talking about it on Twitter and Facebook.
Kind of exploded. Yeah.
So movie-wise, we have the movie 21 and Over coming out, which we participated in a quiz. I don't know if we've talked about that yet.
Maybe.
We've not seen the film though, have we, Dan?
I imagine it's
Looks okay.
If it's like the quiz, it's probably quite good.
Looks okay. Dead
Wow,
Man
if it's
Down.
the official IGN review. If it's like the quiz, it's quite good.
Yeah, I never saw Skyfall. Just like the poster.
Dead Man Down is out, which is a Colin Farrell thriller, which looks okay. And Chimpanzees coming out, which is a Attenborough.
An
Attenborough
Attenborough.
doco.
An Attenborough.
Attenborough doco.
Voiced by Tim Allen.
Tim Allen?
Yes.
Why not Attenborough?
I don't know. But I looked at it this
It's
morning.
not.
Is
Is it Alan in the States?
Yeah, it might be Allen in the States and
really?
Attenborough in the UK.
So I was
Hey,
Because-
hang on. Why can't the US deal with Attenborough?
Well,
No, then-
I spoke to Per about this when we were out in San Fran, and a lot of the BBC stuff that
Yeah.
has Attenborough is redubbed when it goes to the
Why?
States. And it's like
That's
I
fact.
think
Oh,
Planet Earth was
Sigourney
Sigourney Weaver
Weaver.
or
Morgan
Blue
Freeman.
why?
Planet or
Why
something.
though? That doesn't make any sense.
they don't get Attenborough. They don't deserve Attenborough.
No, they don't. How can they not get Attenborough?
Well, he's-
Is it just?
don't
is-
grow up with him. It's just they'd probably just hear some old British man speaking, not the legend that is Attenborough.
Yeah.
But on a side note, I noticed our old friend Ollie Moss did a poster this week, maybe inspired by Chimpanzee. He did a poster for Stop the Planet of the Apes. I wanted to get off.
For his wall. Yeah.
He also did a picture.
really funny. Check it out.
He also did a picture of a marijuana Pikmin.
Did he?
I don't even know what that means.
Excellent.
Well, Pikmin looks like a little leaf.
Yeah,
The
He's obviously done
plant.
a marijuana one.
classic Moss.
DLC.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
I would definitely buy that.
That's almost it for this week's podcast. Just a couple of things to announce. The pub quiz that was happening this week has now been postponed until May the 28th. So if you were intending to turn up, well, for starters, it was last night because this is going out on a Friday. So hopefully you didn't go to the pub and wait there for a long time. But you should have been notified about the new date. And then finally, The Last of Us. We've got an event where we are inviting a bunch of our readers and listeners down to play the game. On what date is it?
The 24th of May.
24th of May. So
And there'll be people from Naughty Dog and stuff. And like,
We're going
it's
to do a
whole
live stream.
Event.
It's going to be
And it's going to be a really
demo.
cool venue that will look slightly like one of the scenes from the game.
yeah.
That sounds cool.
It's going to be awesome.
Can I give a heads up for the quiz? I think whoever's coming down should brush up on their Star Trek and Star Wars knowledge. Just saying.
Just putting that
They
in
could be around.
I haven't done my round yet.
Okay.
Don't know what to give you a hint. What's in your round, Daniel?
there. My round is about achievement points.
Is it? That's a good
It's called
round.
Achievement Unlocked.
I'm going to do a pitch round again, so make sure you've got clean eyeballs.
Good.
Great.
And on that bombshell,
Yes. That's it for this week's podcast. We will be back next week. So until then, give us a 50-point star rating on iTunes. Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Welcome to the ultimate social deduction game, Blood on the Clock Tower.
The evil team must stalk the streets at night, hunting down members of the good team one by one. Meanwhile, the good team must outmaneuver the evil team using their unique abilities.
I'd like to kick things off by telling you all that I'm possibly the demon.
Our players can mislead and manipulate others with absolute freedom.
I didn't like hearing my name in the same sentence as demon. That was very upsetting for me.
Emily and I will be your storytellers, guiding you through every labyrinthian twist and turn.
How are there so many evil players in this game? What's happening?
With guests from No Rolls Barred, the Pandemonium Institute, and Oxventure, you won't be able to stop listening. Go to realmspod.com/clocktower to find out more.
Ladies and gentlemen.
What are you doing?
What do you mean? I'm
Just keep it simple.
I'm making the promo.
Just keep it simple. Just say, hey, we're the Brav Bros. Two guys that talk about Bravo.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we're the Brav Bros.
No.
Oh,
Dude, stop with the voice. Just keep it simple.
I've seen promos on TV, dude. This is how you get the fans engaged. This is how you get listeners. We're trying to get listeners here. If we just say, oh, we're two dudes that talk about Bravo, people are going to get tired of it already. We need some oomph.
All right, then fine. Let's try to do it with your voice.
Brav Bros.
Good job.